we're given these fractions right here, and we're told to arrange them in ascending order. So ascending means we start with the smallest and we move on to the next largest and find there's 3. So it's like an A, B, C. Let's look at the kind of the hack way of doing this. Notice that each of these fractions has a different denominator. Really what they're setting this up for is for you have to convert fractions with a common denominator, and that takes time. But there are 2 faster ways to do it, and one of them I'm going to show you. But just a quick review here. If you had any unit of measure, but let's say this is 1 inch, but it could be a mile, it could be a foot, a yard, it doesn't really matter. So half, obviously, 1/2 means that this and this are equal. So 1/2 of the distance and 1/2 of the distance. So each one of these is equal to 1, and there are 2 of them. That's why half would be 1 of them over the total, which is 2. Pretty basic, and you're wondering what the heck. Now let's take that same inch, and now we're dealing with sixths. So what that means is you divide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we divide the inch up into 6. Each one of these is 1. The middle one, that's a little confusing. The middle one right here would be 3, because we have 1 distance, 2 distance, 3 distance, and then we have 1, 2, 3 on that side. So we combine these 3 together, we get 3/6. That's the halfway point if you're dealing with 6. And then the last one is 8. So we take that same inch. If we're dealing with 8, then 4 is the halfway point. 1, 2, 3, there's the halfway, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 8. So now there's 8 equal units, and 4 of them would be the middle. That's 4/8. And this would be done very quickly in your head, even though it's taking a while here to do it. This first fraction, 1/2, we can see really easy. 5/6, if we look at this right here, we know that 5/6 would be all the way out here. 3/6 is a half. So we know that 5/6 is larger than 1/2. And 5/8, if 4/8 is at the middle point, here's the 5th one. So it's 1 larger than a half within the 8ths world. So we know that both of these, 5/8 and 5/6, are both larger than 1/2. And with that information, we can answer the question, because that tells us that 1/2 is the smallest. They helped us out here. The only answer choice that has 1/2 as the smallest is F. So you look at G, H, 5/6, 5/6, 5/8, 5/8. You could eliminate all of those, and 1/2 is the smallest. And even if you didn't look over at the answer choices and see that 1/2 was the only one that was smallest, by visualizing it this way, you knew that 1/2 was the smallest. Now all you have to do is organize it between the 5/6 and the 5/8. And if you looked at it this way, you could see that 5/8 is only 1/8 bigger than the half, but 5/6 is way closer to a full, because it's 5/6. And if you divide it into 6 units, then the 5th one is a lot closer to the full than the 5/8 over here. So you knew it had to be 5/8 would be the next largest, and 5/6 would be the largest. Anyway, if you visualized it like that, you could have answered this probably in under 30 seconds. That's my guess. But let's take a look at the other 2 ways of doing it, just so we complete it. And the first one, the faster of the 2 remaining ways, is converting them to decimals. So we were given 1/2, 5/6, and 5/8. So to convert a fraction into a decimal, all you do is divide the denominator into the numerator. So we divide 2 into 1, we get 0.5 or 50. You can add zeros out till infinity, it doesn't matter, but it's 0.5, it's half. 5/6, you just put it into your calculator, you'll get 0.83, and 5/8 will turn out to be 0.6. Now, hopefully you can see that it's a lot easier to put these in order. This is 0.5 is the smallest. The next one is 0.68, and the last one is 0.83. So 0.83 is a lot closer to 1 than 0.68. 0.68 is between, if you want to put it on, I was doing ascending order like that, but you could also do it here. Here's 0, here's 1, this is 0.5, and the next one is 0.68, and the next one is 0.83, and this is 1 here. So this was 1/2, this was 5/8, and this was 5/6. And the way you would write that out is 1/2 is less than 5/8, which is less than 5/6. 1/2 less than 5/8 less than 5/6. All right, then the slowest way of all is to take 1/2, 5/8, and 5/6. And you look at the denominators and you have to put them in some type of common denominator format and then compare the numerators. So we start with the largest one here and look for the common denominators. So 8 is not a common denominator because 6 is not a common with 8. It doesn't have a commonality with it. So the next one would be 16. 2 works, but 6 is not a multiple of 16. So you go up to the next one, which would be 24. 2 would work because you have 2 times 12 equals 24. And you would also have to multiply the 12 here. 12 24ths is the same as 1/2. 12 is half of 24. And here we're multiplying it by 3. I'm going to just write over the top of that. 3 equals 24, so we have to multiply it by 3 up here. That's 15. And this you have to multiply by 4 to equal 24. 4 there. So 20 24ths, 15 24ths, and 12 24ths. So you can see. So now we have this inch or mile or foot or whatever, and it's divided into little 24ths. And right here is the middle one. This is 12 24ths, also the same as 1/2. And then we go up to, if that's 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere right in there would be the 5/8, which is the same as 15 24ths. And then 15, somewhere right in here would be 5/6, which is the same as 20 over 24. And so you can see it's 1/2 is less than 5/8, which is less than 5/6. Or you could do it this way. 12 24ths are less than 15 24ths, which is less than 20 24ths. All right, I think I've exhausted that. Hopefully this is a good review with fractions and decimals and ascending and descending, and you learned something from it. Good luck.